All right, let's dive right into this explainer and see how artificial intelligence is completely transforming genealogy. I mean, if you've ever spent hours, or let's be honest, days, squinting at 2-century-old handwriting, you know the patience it takes. Today, we're unpacking how this tech is taking static, dusty data and turning it into living history, and exactly how you can use it to break through your own research walls.
Now, with all the hype out there right now, you are probably wondering, can AI truly uncover your family's past? Is this actually practical for us everyday family history enthusiasts, or is it just another tech buzzword? It seems like every day there's a new headline about AI doing the impossible, so it's perfectly natural to be a bit skeptical. But the answer is a massive, resounding yes. However, and this is a big however, it completely depends on how you approach it.
See, the absolute biggest misconception out there is this idea of the autonomous AI researcher. A lot of people jump into this expecting to just hit a button, type in a great-grandparent's name, and boom, watch a fully verified multi-generational family tree magically pop out. Yeah, that is a total myth. The reality, AI is an assistant. It needs your constant guidance, your iteration, and most importantly, your critical thinking. It's here to supercharge your skills as a historian, not replace them.
Because you're still very much in the driver's seat here, you have to set up what we call guide rails. Guide rails are basically your crucial input data, the highly specific questions you ask, and the directional guidance you feed the software. Think of it like this. Vague prompts equal vague and, honestly, often totally inaccurate results. But if you give it precise guide rails, wow, AI can do hours, even days of heavy lifting in literally seconds. And there is massive, massive momentum behind this assistant-led approach right now. To put it in perspective, as of July 13th, 2026, there are 891 people actively testing this out together. We aren't talking about a handful of tech developers in a lab somewhere. This is a growing, super passionate movement of everyday historians. They're experimenting, sharing findings, and completely pushing the boundaries of what is possible in genealogy.
These innovators actually hang out in a private Facebook group called Using AI in Family History. It was founded by researcher David Spinks, and what makes this space so incredible is that it's essentially a living laboratory. Members aren't just casually chatting, they are actively dropping comprehensive white papers, sharing files, and posting the unvarnished results of their real-world experiments. It is an absolute treasure trove of practical, tested knowledge proving the real benefits to researchers just like us. To actually see what this looks like in the wild, you can go check out the Spinks family tree on Ancestry. David specifically tags certain profiles as an AI-assisted profile. And when you click into those tagged entries and open up the gallery, you aren't just seeing your standard names and dates. No, you're diving into synthesized audio clips, deeply researched written stories, and beautifully enhanced pictures. It's like watching traditional, dusty records spring to vibrant life right in front of you.
If you take one single lesson away from this community today, let it be this mindset. Please be satisfied with taking small steps. Experiment with each tool. Get to know exactly what it can do, and just as importantly, what its limitations are. You simply can't expect a one-click miracle. The researchers getting those jaw-dropping results, they are the patient ones. They test one small thing, learn where the software excels, figure out where it falls flat on its face, and then they adjust their strategy.
And that philosophy of small steps, that translates directly into a killer workflow. You rarely just interact with one tool a single time. Instead, it's like a chain reaction. You might start with a small action, say extracting text from an old document. Then you refine that output, maybe fix up the formatting. After that, you move the polished data over to a totally different tool for correction. And finally, produce something amazing, like an audio narrative or a slick video. You are carefully guiding the data at every single turn. The practical applications this group is already pulling off using that exact workflow are honestly staggering. We're talking about translating obscure, deeply faded handwritten Italian wills, a grueling job that used to mean hiring a specialized historian, or synthesizing incredibly vivid pictures based entirely on the text of a last will and testament. People are turning static Ancestry PDFs into captivating video documentaries, and, this is my absolute favorite, finally solving the age-old nightmare of mapping unnamed faces in chaotic family photos. Let's zoom in on one of those examples to really see the power of this tech. Take the tragic tale of Alexander James Anderson. Normally, his life would just be represented by a few dry PDF profiles and a clinical death record stating he fell from a merchant vessel and drowned in Boston Harbor. But by using those specific documents as guide rails, a group member compiled a truly gripping historical video. So instead of staring at disconnected data points, descendants can now watch a synthesized narrative, easily digesting and honoring a deeply emotional story.
And it goes way beyond just individual stories, too. AI can track and illustrate complex macro trends beautifully. For instance, another member used AI to create a video tracking the migration of Italian artisans. The AI took the raw data points of these families and mapped this gorgeous visual journey, tracing their origins in a small Tuscan village all the way to marrying and raising kids in the East End of London. It takes fragmented data from a whole community's migration and weaves it into a cohesive, visual masterpiece.
Then, of course, we have the incredibly practical, everyday solutions. I mean, every genealogist knows the intense frustration of the unnamed group shot, right? You have this beautiful old wedding photo, but you only recognize maybe 3 of the 40 faces staring back at you. Well, one of the group's most popular posts tackled this exact hurdle. They used AI to analyze the photograph and generate numbered profile silhouettes. This simple little trick creates a perfect, non-destructive map, so you can easily match correct names to the right faces without ever taking a pen to a precious heirloom.
And the secret to that? It's entirely in the guide rails. Get this, here is the exact, highly effective prompt they used to solve that wedding photo mystery. Create a simple line drawing of this image on a plain white background. Add a consecutive number in a square to each individual person on their lapel. Look at how wildly specific that is. It dictates the background, the exact formatting of the number, and precisely where to place it. It just proves that small, creative, and highly specific instructions yield absolute gold for your research.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground in this explainer today, from realizing that AI is your assistant, not your replacement, to seeing how chained prompts can literally turn a dry PDF into a documentary or solve a century-old photo mystery. With the right guide rails and a little bit of patience, the possibilities for your own research are pretty much endless. So now that you've seen how this technology can transform dusty records into living, breathing history, the ball is in your court. Which ancestor story are you going to awaken first?